Justin Baldoni is being sued again, and this time it's by his insurance company. The company that insured the movie It Ends With Us on behalf of Wayfair, Justin Baldoni, Steve Sarowitz, and Jamie Heath is now suing all the parties, saying it doesn't have to pay Justin Baldoni's legal fees. This lawsuit just hit the docket today. It is 27 pages, and his insurance company basically wants a declaration saying they do not have to cover any of his legal costs for Blake Lively's claims. This is an article that The Hollywood Reporter just dropped explaining exactly what the lawsuit's all about, and it starts out saying Justin Baldoni and his company Wayfair could be on the hook for a steep legal bill to litigate allegations of sexual harassment on the set of It Ends With Us. The insurance company for the movie It Ends With Us that Wayfair hired is Harco National Insurance. They filed a lawsuit today in New York, and this is what they want. They are seeking a court order that it has no duty to pay legal fees for the production company or its officers. It says that the alleged misconduct occurred before the effective date of the policy and that they weren't informed of Blake Lively's complaints. This is just another lawsuit now against Baldoni and Wayfair and the whole team. As you know, Blake Lively filed her complaint alleging sexual harassment, accusing him of retaliation, as well as defamation. Soon after Blake filed her lawsuit, then we had Stephanie Jones from Jones Works file a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, Wayfair, etc. for breach of contract, among other things. So the lawsuit that was filed today by the insurance company alleges this. They say that they had two one-year-long policies that insured the production of It Ends With Us from July of 2023 until July of 2025. Now, as you know, Blake Lively filed her complaint in December of 2024, but she alleges that she has claims of sexual harassment from the year prior, which would be from April until June of 2023. Before this insurance company had a policy with them. The second issue they brought up is this. They said that Wayfair allegedly neglected to inform the insurance company of Lively's complaints, even though it was during the time frame in which the production was insured. So that would be after July of 2023 when things were still happening. They said that these complaints were raised in a November 2023 email from Lively's lawyers to Wayfair, according to the lawsuit. They allege that they even issued the production company in July of 2024 an application for renewal because, as I said, it was two one-year contracts. So one ran out and then they signed on for another one. So they said that they had given them an application for renewal of the policy, which advised notice of any known circumstances that could result in a legal claim. They say that their policy states that Harco will not provide coverage for claims or incidents which the applicant is aware of prior to the inception date of any coverage that is offered and accepted. So Evan Shapiro, who is one of the lawyers now for Harco, said this. Despite this notice and despite the November 2023 demand and additional allegations of sexual harassments presented by Lively during a January 2024 meeting, Wayfair's 2024 renewal application advised Harco that there was no claim, notice of potential claim, or any situation that may give rise to a claim within the last 12 months. So if you followed this case at all, you know exactly what they're talking about with this. Blake had emailed Wayfair, Justin Baldoni, the company, stating that she was uncomfortable on set and she wanted certain things to be put into place for her to feel more comfortable returning to work. In January, they held a meeting where they all signed a document that had a number of points, I believe it was 17, that Blake Lively wanted in place before coming back to work. All parties agreed on this, they all signed it, and Justin Baldoni's team even agreed not to retaliate against her for bringing these accusations of sexual harassment forwards. The lawsuit states that Wayfair had a $2 million policy for its directors and also its officers, and the same amount in coverage for employment practices and third-party liability. Now, it says Wayfair gave them notice of Blake Lively's claims in April, and then basically asked for coverage. So they responded and said Harco denied the claim, and in a June letter, it explained that there are circumstances that may wholly or partially limit their coverage. If the judge grants this court order and has no duty to pay Justin Baldoni, Wayfair, Steve Sarowitz, Jamie Heath's legal fees, then this production company and Baldoni and all parties involved may be looking at a six-figure legal bill just to continue litigating this case with Blake Lively and her lawyers. This article also noted, it says, the legal battle could become a battle of who has deeper pockets, with Steve Sarowitz, who is the billionaire co-founder of Wayfair, backing Baldoni, of course, and Ryan Reynolds backing Blake Lively. I'm going to go through some of the lawsuit with you guys right now because some of it's extremely interesting. The insurance company had their legal team compare Blake Lively's allegations in her lawsuit to Justin Baldoni's complaint and his lawsuit, and they ended up being able to match a lot of information that I think a lot of people are overlooking. The first thing it does is goes through Blake's complaints, but I am going to share a little bit with you because I think it's important and extremely interesting. As you guys know, Blake filed her complaint in December 2024 and then alleges during April through June of 2023, before the inception of this plan was in place, Lively and others complained of sexual harassment during pre-production and production of the film. It goes on to allege that Baldoni and Heath acknowledged that they were aware of these serious HR problems on set. Now, then it notes that in Justin Baldoni's legal lawsuit as well, his complaint that he filed, it says that he acknowledges and admits that Lively raised her complaints with Baldoni and Heath as early as May 2023. Now, I've read this to you guys already, but Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath do acknowledge that Blake spoke to them about a number of these complaints. Then they note that despite Justin's team acknowledging that they knew about Blake Lively's complaints, in July of 2023, when they filled out their insurance information, there was a letter from Wayfair included, which warns that no person or entity for whom the insurance is intended has any knowledge or information of any act, error, omission, fact, or circumstance which may give rise to litigation. They also noted that in this agreement that Wayfair signed, it specifically says that it is agreed that if such knowledge or information exists, any claim arising from that is excluded from the proposed coverage. Then again, it talks about Blake's claims and that the Lively action as well as Wayfair's action both acknowledge that Lively's complaints were further reported in a November 9th, 2023 email from Lively's lawyers to Wayfair's lawyers, which demanded that the Wayfair defendants agree to enact specific changes on set to protect Lively. They added in here as well, it says, although the November 2023 demand was sent to Wayfair during the 2023 policy period, it was not reported to Harco within the time set forth in their 2023 policy that they had laid out. The company said that when they filled out the renewal forms in July of 2024, that in caps on the front page, this is what it said. It said, they will not provide coverage for claims or incidences which the applicant is aware of prior to the inception date of any coverage that is offered and accepted. They said it was completely ignored. They said, despite this notice and despite the November 2023 demand and additional allegations of sexual harassment presented by Lively during a January 2024 meeting, Wayfair's 2024 renewal application advised Harco that there was no claim, notice of potential claim, or any situation that may give rise to a claim within the last 12 months. They said they were given absolutely no notice of anything going on with Blake Lively, none of these allegations, until April 25th of 2025, when Wayfair defendants gave Harco first notice of Lively's action and demanded that Harco provide them with a defense. They responded June 20th of 2025 to Wayfair saying, nope, sorry, there's no coverage for the Lively action under the 2024 policy or the 2023 policy. They said Wayfair got back to them and said that they disagree with Harco's coverage position, and accordingly, there presently exists a genuine dispute regarding coverage under the policies. This is bad. This is very bad for Justin Baldoni and the whole team. Not only may they have to now foot the bill for all of their legal costs, as well as being sued by people like Leslie Sloan for legal costs because of suing them and the case being dismissed, but it also looks so bad that they allegedly had no insurance when they started filming It Ends With Us. They did not get insurance until what, July of 2023? That's not good. That is really bad. There are strict rules around being insured on set, and it looks like they didn't have it. There is a lot more in this legal document that you guys need to hear. A lot more evidence is coming out. I'm going to go through it in another separate video, so if you're interested, make sure to hit follow.